Giveaway.
Smart move there. La 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 la.
Sing it, bro. Sing it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen.
No, I'm getting sick. I'm getting sick. So I ain't gonna be doing no singing tonight. No singing. And I was about to ask you guys, where the fuck is Dom? Where the fuck is
Everybody's
Dom
getting
at?
sick.
I don't know.
Brian passed around the flu over
Hey,
here.
I got it from someone over there. So
keep that shit.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. What's up, everybody? And welcome to another episode of Breaking the Mold. We come to you live each and every single week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the Realm. Damn, you guys are weak tonight. You guys are weak.
Yeah,
Where's the energy?
it.
Dave, where's the energy?
We're ramping up.
Oh, shit.
We're ramping up.
All right. Well, we come to you live every week here on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel, and the audio version of this podcast is also available on iTunes and Google Play through Podcast Addict and other podcast pushing platforms. Please remember to subscribe and leave a 5-star review, as it really helps the show out. If you're watching us on YouTube, please hop into the live chat below, chop it up with the rest of the ROC fam. Everybody in the chat's going to get a shout out towards the end of the podcast. This episode of Breaking the Mold is brought to you by Crashbox Customs, the official Mezco retailer of the Realm of Collectors. Visit Crashbox Customs on social media and mention the word realm when placing your order.
Realm.
And you'll get a surprise gift when you place your order. So please do that. I think he got the Netflix Punisher up for pre-order still, Friday the 13th, and I think there was one other piece. So hit up Crashbox Customs on social media and get your pre-orders in while you can, guys. Okay, I'm Harrican BX. Let's say what's up to the rest of the crew. First up, John Addict. What's up, Pop? The birthday boy. Birthday boy.
Birthday was a few days ago. I can't be living that shit every day now.
Not every day, but if we have to say it, brother. Happy birthday.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday. You are now officially closer to the next decade than the previous one, so that's always a scary feeling.
You before me. It's all good, bro.
Shout out to time traveling around the sun.
Well, thank you, man. It was a good weekend overall, aside from the weather in New York, but
yeah, dude, when it rains, it pours, dude. Fucking, It's been raining. It's been shitty weather the past couple of days. Hasn't been that great out here. So how was the weekend overall? What'd you do? Had some good times?
Yeah, man. The wife took me to a show. Took me to a Broadway show. An afternoon one. It was called. It was cool. It was called The Play That Went Wrong. Is that right? Play That Went Wrong, right? And it was a comedy. It was basically anything that could go wrong went wrong.
Wow.
In a
was
play
it
to
a
play.
DC, was it a DC play?
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, it was a good time though. We went to dinner after, and that's pretty much it. But very low key, but fun time.
Right. Nice. Any pickups? Get anything new for your birthday? The birthday haul.
Anything in the mail? Anything in the mail?
Oh yeah, well Gary sent me this funny packaged half Luke. He sends it in a range trooper box, but the way it's set up, like all his weapons fit perfectly, and he's like hanging upside down in the box. I was like, oh shit,
that's perfect.
That's good.
I thought that was funny.
So I got that on Saturday. I also got Sideshow Luke in his pilot outfit.
Nice.
I won that on a bid.
Let's see.
And that's it.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, he's cool. And that's about it, man.
That's Sideshow, right? That's Sideshow, Dave. It's not Hot Toys.
Yeah, it's Sideshow.
It's Sideshow one.
Yeah,
okay. That's a cool outfit.
I wanted to check it out.
I didn't know they made that one.
It's pretty well done. I mean, I have nothing to compare it to, but I like it. I'm sure Hot Toys will do a better job, but for now, it does its purpose.
Is that the usual consensus? Like whatever Sideshow does, it's inferior to what Hot Toys does? Because I don't know like really the difference. Like they look pretty similar as far as looks.
Well, they're known for like for doing their aliens are mostly like what they do a good job at, and they were the only ones who did really like the clone stuff. So people are into that stuff as well. As far as like the human characters, they might come out first, but Hot Toys always comes out with it second and kind of blows them out the water.
Okay.
So it's like hit or miss. It's like, do you buy something like this and hope that, you know, Hot Toys doesn't do it in a way, you know, so that way you don't seem like you wasted your money? Or do you just get it because you like the way it looks now, and when the time comes, you just upgrade and sell it, you know? People look at it differently, so it's the way I look at it. Like, he looked cool, wanted to check him out, and eventually, even if the new one comes out, I can just flip this one and upgrade it.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So the sideshow stuff like has the potential to be like just like a placeholder until the Hot Toys releases, you know, their version, if they release a version.
If exactly. If doesn't always happen. Like,
so it's not guaranteed. All right. Cool. Good shit.
Wow.
Huh?
So it's like buying an X-Trans bots and then getting Takara after.
It's something like that. Yep.
All right. Next up, the analyzer, Brian Brink. How are you?
I'm doing good. I can feel the end of this illness coming, which is good.
Pass it down. I'm just beginning the beginning symptoms of that. The cough, the runny nose, sneezing.
I hate to tell you this, but I have nothing to look forward to.
I know.
And no pickups for me this week. I mean, I don't know. I went hunting for robotic dinosaurs, and all I did was come up with a Sharon Carter. I guess that's fine. But yeah, that's it. If you have an Ollie's near you and you hear news like that drop, well, get there quick, right? That's what the dog says. So
he's agreeing.
Yeah, I actually asked the guy. I was like, hey, did you by chance happen to have a giant transforming dinosaur? And he's like, yeah, man, that thing was gone in like 2 hours. I was like, wow. So I guess I didn't realize I had rabid collectors near me. They're not in this group, as far as I know.
Yep.
Nice. Well, you never know. Sometimes people might troop even just to go to any Ollies that they could find.
That's possible. Yeah. I get the feeling these are people I don't want to know anyway.
Yeah. Oh, well. All right. Next up, JD, everybody's favorite meatbag. How are you?
Hi, meatbags. What's up?
How are you?
I'm spectacular.
That's because you got a big box in the mail.
I did get a big box today. But yeah, back to the Ollie subject. They did put a 3 per customer limit on them this time around. So people could not go in there with a van and buy everything they had. So, but yeah, okay. I picked one of those up. Actually, I got 2 of them because Chan wanted one as well, so I grabbed 2.
Nice. You got Ollie's by you out there?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, the one I went to was dead, and they had a shit ton of these things. They had like one of those huge, it's, probably 10, 15 feet wide or square, and it's like 2 layers. So whatever the display thing is, it's on wheels. They had one of those, and it was just full of them.
Dude, where do they come from? Like,
I don't know.
Well, see, Brian, when 2 Transformers really love each other and they have really strong feelings, they get together, and what happens? It's like
that's perfect.
What was it? What was that? What was that music? Dubstep or whatever? Is that the sound that it makes? Or not dubstep? I fucking can't remember. What were those memes? Like the robotic making people with the never mind. Fuck it.
Cool.
But no, seriously, like what? And why is it only the giant ones that show up there? Like the Titans? Like, I mean, did they seriously just make so many of these that they don't sell, or?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, like for real?
Say Toys. I mean, Toys R Us did the whole thing where they had them up for pre-order, and then they were canceling people's pre-orders.
Yeah, they did that to me. Those sons of
bitches. Yeah, exactly. But like that, they don't know what they have sitting in a warehouse or whatever, and I don't know. I think that's where it comes from.
You know why else they have so many of them? Because people like us don't go buy them when they come out for $200, and they wait for them to come out.
I never saw them at retail
for this amount.
Yeah,
I never saw them on the shelves to begin with.
And thank you, Night of Ren. He says Daft Punk. I think that's what I was trying to think
of. Yeah.
I got that, and I got we finally found the new Chewbacca from the Solo movie, and then we got some Mythic Legion trolls and a whole bunch of other figures. Got the Kelter and some orcs and some knights and like that, the whole whatever it was, the latest wave that came out. Got a bunch of them. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And I saw your video on Facebook today. I think you posted it a couple of days ago. But that shit that you're building, you and Shan are working on, that shit looks pretty dope.
Yeah, thanks.
For anyone listening who hasn't seen, JD's building this ridiculous medieval type castle, mountain, prison diorama, and the hand-drawn cobblestones blow my mind, JD. Like, I can't believe that you guys are like hand-drawing, like
drawing them out
level of detail.
She's been cutting them out and carving them, and last night we painted them. Yeah, dude, it's gonna be ridiculous. It's huge.
JD, just think about how good the next one you'll be, the one you're gonna keep for yourself. This one's just the practice.
Yeah, this is
you're gonna be like, right? Yo, Dave, you want this thing? And, we're gonna do a bigger one next. Just think about that one. Imagine that.
I know.
Let's think
the best part
ahead.
When we all want to go to JD's house and bring our 6-inch action figures, and we get yelled at because Star Wars people don't belong in the castle and Marvel Legends.
Hey, I don't care.
Get them out of here. You can't mix them.
What was it like when we first started building this thing? We forget what we were driving somewhere, and I'm like, this keeps going through my head, and like, I want to figure out how to make like a World of Warcraft sort of game, or like a 40K game for these figures. We started like spouting rules off and shit. It was pretty ridiculous.
That'd be pretty awesome.
But we could do that. We could totally do it.
Dude, we could.
Nice. I can't
bring in the what?
I was going to say, I'm going to bring in one of my characters is going to ride that Jurassic Park T-Rex. So
that's fun.
You have enough game space. Yeah.
We'll make. Yeah. I mean, there'll be plenty of a battlefield for that thing, but we'll make cards for it. Stat cards and shit. We can do it. No worries. But that's it.
All right, cool, man. And I can't wait to see the finished project that you're working on. Like, how long is it gonna take before you think you're done with it?
Well, we've been working on it for like 2 weeks now. So, and this is just the basement, so to speak. There's gonna be a whole another layer on top of it yet.
Dude, wow! Like you're building like what I would want for a display. Like something big in the middle that you walk around. Like, I would love to have a giant, I don't know, 40K. That would be nice too. Yeah.
Well, like I don't know. One of the things that I thought about when I was growing up, like my cousins, they were spoiled, and they had like every Lego set. I mean, city, space, you name it. They had like everything that was released, and they had 2 ping pong tables in their basement. One so we could play on it, and then the other one, they had like a huge Lego city. And then seeing Bobby's 40K table, and then I've been talking to a guy that owns a store over here where they do Gundam builds and 40K matches and shit like that, and he wants me to paint some of the boards for him. So, and I just got this idea. I'm like, yo, these are like D&D based figures, or they could be. And why couldn't I just build a board for them? I think it would be ridiculous. And then that's where it started. Just seeing all that shit.
That would be cool. Like, could you imagine, like, at ToyCon right now, they have that big gymnasium and they put the arcade games in there and the remote control car racetrack in there. Could you imagine having a huge gymnasium of, like, that's just a huge 40K table for 6-inch scale figures like these, and you have to crawl under the table, like they have like little channels in the middle so you can get to the middle of the table to rearrange the dudes. That'd be fucking crazy.
That would be insane.
I'm gonna have sweet dreams thinking about that.
I think Brian's onto something there. We got to write that down.
Well, I'm definitely building this thing to. I mean, of course, it's 4 foot wide. I mean, it's 4 foot square right now, but I'm making it big enough so that like you can actually reach in and move shit around and you can mess with stuff. So there's plenty of space. It's like 16 inches deep, so you know there's plenty of space, plenty of headroom to get in there and like fuck with shit.
Nice. It's gonna be the fucking like ultimate playset. You know,
hell yeah.
Something that you would never, ever, ever be able to like purchase. Kind of like, you know, like there's just no way.
Making my own USS flag.
There you go.
For Dungeons and Dragons shit.
That's dope.
That's dope. That is dope. I wish I was that talented.
Just patience.
All right. Next up, G Money. How are you?
Dude, I am always hesitant to say when I'm doing great because inevitably something happens in the next 24 to 48 hours when I say it in this setting. But no, dude, it's great. I'm actually I've got vacation starting for like 10 days tomorrow. So I think the day before your vacation actually starts is always just a great day because you have all that free time ahead of you to do a bunch of stuff.
Nice.
I've got a real drink, a grown-up alcoholic beverage in my Etchbox Thundercats mug, which
I'm just gonna say some sticking feathers up your butt doesn't make you a chicken.
Listen. And I'm gonna even try and stay up past 10:30 or 11 o'clock tonight. So
you bad boy!
Watch
out! Call the cops!
Look out!
The cops
living dangerously.
But, no, it's been a good week. Did I tell the story how one of my associates at my store totally ripped on me in front of everybody, and she was like super clever?
Oh,
what'd she do?
So listen, I've got a really diverse group of associates on my store team in sales, age, race, work experience, sexual orientation. I mean, it is a great team of a wide variety of assortments of individuals. And I've got a younger lady. She's 21. She is probably she's a superstar. She's so professional, just a great representation for the brand, and she's got a huge career ahead of her. So we're just kind of talking some downtime. I was around our internet office, and I probably had two of my mid-level managers. What do you? I didn't get to this joke yet. But we were just kind of talking, and somebody made a comment, and I was joking along with them, trying to connect, and I made the comment of, "Hey, listen, I've got feelings too, just because nobody here takes the time to notice, right?" And she, without a beat, I barely got it out of my mouth, and she looked at me dead serious, and she's like, "Well, Gary," and you guys know this about me. She's like, "You go to the gym and you work your biceps and your triceps and your leg and your chest. We just assumed you were working on trying to make your feelings stronger too." I was like, man, I got nothing. I had to walk away. I'm like, I got nothing. That was a good one. That was pretty funny.
Next time you look at that girl, you just say, "Yo, mama."
And then I will not be having any hauls because I'll be coming to kick Tim out of your attic and rent out your upstairs with my wife, who also doesn't work, and two cats. And Dave won't have any hauls, so just be venting about getting rid of the idiot that lives upstairs that gets on his nerves.
White people on my roof, get them the fuck out. Get them out.
Then you'd be the talk of the neighborhood if that were the case. But no, so for hauls, I'll just look. I got some Mythic Legions, and I'll kind of talk a little bit. I had an idea for just some conversation topics, but Jose, how about you? How was your week for you first?
My week was good. I had a good weekend. It was eventful. Got a new couch on Saturday, which debuted on Liquid Therapy on
Nice.
also on this channel. So check that out if you haven't watched it yet. Super comfortable compared to the one I had, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Jesse's been wanting to get a couch for a while. We were just lackadaisical and going and shopping for one. We finally did it. Got a nice sectional and we already broke it in. We both passed out on it Saturday night. So.
Oh, I thought you were saying something else for a second. I'm like, oh, you blessed it. That's what I'm talking about. You blessed it.
Hey, man. Hey, you know, company has to come over and sit on these couches eventually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You still got to christen it.
Exactly.
You still got to get them that love into it yet.
I'm not sleeping on Jose's couch anymore.
Yeah, but no hauls like action figure wise. Like I went to Wizard World Philly on Sunday as well, and
you went
was looking.
Sunday?
Yeah,
I thought you were going Saturday.
Saturday is usually the day I go, but the past couple of years we went on Sunday because my cousin, he's been bringing his kids and they like to do the costume contest, which they hold on Sunday. So we just
man, I should have hit you up because you said you were going Saturday, and then when I couldn't make it Saturday, I was like, fuck it. But then Sunday became available, and I was like, I'm not going up there.
Oh shit! That would have been cool. That would have been cool. Yeah. Next time, man. Next time. But yeah, had a good time like walking around the show floor, but they didn't have a lot of action figure stuff, like in my opinion. Like they had some stands, but I was looking for Transformers, I was looking for Hot Toys for Dom, some Storm collectible stuff, and it was few and far in between. And the stuff that I found was like for Street Fighter and like Tekken, but no like Mortal Kombat and nothing like recent from Hot Toys. So
is it mainly art, comics, and stuff like that?
Yeah. A lot of cosplay, a lot of like food vendors were there, like showing off stuff, energy drink stands, a lot of like knick-knack type stuff, but t-shirts galore, like stuff like that, apparel, stuff like swords and prop guns. DVDs, but I'm like, yo, where are the fucking toys? Where are the action figures?
Jose, you didn't buy a medieval corset for yourself, did you?
No, I was tempted though. No. It was close.
Well, I mean, I think that's like more reminiscent of a true Comic-Con, right? It's not about toys a lot, but it's a lot about comics and character and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, well, not
typically what a Comic-Con is supposed to be.
Yeah, well, not a ton. It wasn't like a ton of the comic book stuff either. Like you had some of that, and you had like the artist alley, like with the people with their artwork and selling their books. You know, but a lot of celebrities like John Bernthal was there. Saw him, Urza Miller. You know, Ray Fisher, I think is the guy's name, the guy that played Cyborg in Justice League was there. A bunch of other people that you could just see. $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, a couple of like the old school wrestlers.
Ted DiBiase, that's great.
Yeah, but like it was fun. Like again, but it was in a different hall, and there's been more action figure stuff at Wizard World Philly before than there was like this year, like that I noticed. So I don't know. You know, I guess we'll just see how it keeps turning out. But always a good time.
Did you bump into Sunday? See you there?
No, I wished. I was hoping I would see like maybe Asian Kid Mad or Sunday Heat, but I know Sunday Heat went on Saturday and stuff.
Okay.
So
because I thought it was fun.
Yeah, but it was fun. Good times, and that's basically all I did. I didn't pick up anything because, like I said, there was no figures there that I was interested in. I was tempted. They did have a Hot Toys Batman from Arkham Knight, and I was like, man, like I could just kind of jump in with this figure right now, but they were trying to get 300 for it. I didn't want to pay that much, so
yeah.
I decided not to.
And,
yeah, that's it, man. That's it. I wish I would have seen something there that got me excited, but unfortunately I couldn't say that.
Well, so I'm going to kind of jump off of that, Jose, and I don't want to may I interject, I guess, right?
Of course.
But the excitement piece, right? So I've heard a lot of discussion. I've listened to ETR and some other shows the last couple of weeks, and a lot of talk about the repaints or reboots and character selections that come out, and people are kind of disappointed because they were hoping for something different. And for anybody who listens, I think that we kind of mentioned we'll have kind of like a group chat for the show. We'll kind of talk about topics and, just kind of mess around and horse around and stuff like that too. And I've kind of been gushing, and I'm gonna credit Brian a little bit again, one last time, and I'll let it go. But I've personally had a renewed sense of excitement in the hobby, and we've talked a lot about what you do when things are slower, or the well's dried up, or you're in that slow time. Um, all those types of things, right? So for me, I think I've just been very diverse in collecting some things again. I was traveling for work last week, so I felt bad. I missed the show. I really missed hanging out with you guys. But that Monday I had some time to do some toy hunting, in a different city, in a different state, and I was kind of excited again. I picked up a couple more, Black Series Range Troopers, and I said I wasn't going to buy any Star Wars this year, but I actually really like that figure, and I'm kind of troop building and. In very Gary fashion, I put the 4 range troopers with the Wampa. Not that that's in any that's in any canon anywhere, but they kind of look really cool as a display together. But Brian got me that one Mythic Legion figure, and it was just unexpected. It was a great surprise. I love the toy. I went in and I've bought like 5 more of that series and, a few others. But instead of having that collector feeling of a rabbit hole and maybe some frustration for liking something and feeling like it's a burden almost, I found myself very excited about things again. Whether it be, Hot Toys or, 6-inch figures or all the different Marvel Legends coming out, these Mythic Legions. So I was just curious what you guys were thinking, as far as what's triggered that for you guys, if at all, right? Maybe it hasn't. But you get that renewed sense of energy and excitement around, just enjoying it, or it doesn't feel like it's so much work, or you're constantly disappointed. I feel like there's a lot of disappointment many times, in critiques and evaluations, and that's part of any hobby. But I was just curious how you guys are feeling about that, and if you've ever had a similar type of experience. So, open up to you guys.
Nobody goes. Okay. I usually first, started with Star Wars and I don't know. How do I say that? I've always found some sort of excitement along the way, and it might just change from line to line. You know what I mean? Transformers was big. I mean, that's when I really started taking the display end of it, I wanted to display my masterpiece stuff, because it deserves it. A lot of it's really, really nice looking, but from there, I went back into the Star Wars, went crazy with the Star Wars. These Mythic Legions have kind of taken the forefront of everything lately. They're very nice. But yeah, I don't know where I was going to go from there. Somebody else go.
Get out. Well, get it out. Get your feelings out, bro.
I think maybe he lost his way. Did you?
I lost my way there.
He lost his thought.
I'll go. I lost it.
I've been down in the dumps lately. Mainly, this Transformer display is just not working out the way I wanted to. But also, I don't know. I think the last round of the announcements of what we're getting kind of dampened my spirits because I was looking for something really cool or hoping for something really cool. But it's like, this stuff's not quite working out. And I haven't been home on the weekends lately to, get to work on it and kind of flesh out some ideas to see what's going to happen. And in the meantime, stuff is just piled up over here. I'm like, oh God, it's like tote life again, but nothing's in totes. It's just all over the floor, which kind of sucks. But so I'm looking forward to the long weekend coming up. Kind of get my act together, get this cold out of the way, and get back to it. Also, too, all my friends here on the panel are getting all their Mythic Legions, and for a while, I'm not getting any. And I'm like, I placed an order, mine hasn't shipped. They're getting stuff shipped, and I'm like, son of a bitch. And then it turns out that they ordered other things that was through a different process, so they're getting all this stuff. And I was feeling left out, getting all pissed off. But Dave, thank you for turning that around for me. And yeah, but it's like I don't know. I've got a full collection of the Diaclone relaunch here. I'm all caught up and it's all stacked up over there. I really want to get my claws into that and see what that's about. And I think once I finally get some time to start doing some stuff in the hobby again, I think it'll kind of turn me around and get me going. And
that's cool. So actually, you brought up an interesting question, and I don't want to kind of derail us too much, but I'm guilty of being that person to like purchase something for a while and maybe not open it right away. Like it comes, right, it gets shipped, or I buy it and I'm excited, and I don't take it out of the package. And I find sometimes if I don't have the time to do it, or at least make myself open it and check it out, even if it's briefly, like I don't say I lose interest, but like the excitement subsides and then it's kind of on to something else. And it's funny, I'm hearing you say it, Brian, kind of make me realize I've been opening everything I've gotten like right away, even if I don't have a ton of time. Like as soon as I get it, like I open it, check it out, and at least have it open, right, and accessible. And I don't know, maybe that's part of the change that's kind of helped make a difference in building up some of that excitement. So I'm not sure what you guys think.
That's a definite help. I mean, anything I get, I open right away. Because if I don't, I tend to let it just rock, like you said. And it could be a week or two. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot I bought this. And then it's like, did I really need it? If it's shipped to me after, let's say, days, weeks, it finally gets to me and I just leave it sitting in a corner in a box. Like, it's like, I didn't need it then. So I make sure to open everything, whether or not it's a day that'll go by, but I make sure I make at least a few minutes to open it, look at the box, open it, take the packaging out and look at the figure, put it right back away. But
did we lose him?
I think we're losing him.
I'm not going to buy something and then it's wrecked,
Yeah. And
go ahead. I was gonna say, to kind of ride those coattails. For me, I have like quite the backlog of stuff. I mean, I have like Gundam kits and the Figure Eyes, Dragon Ball, kits. They're models, of course, or like stuff that I am troop building. I don't open them all at once. You know what I mean? I don't want 10 models sitting here in pieces, but so I have sort of a backlog going, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But like just kind of the opposite of what you have. Like if it's something I'm super excited about, yeah, I'm going to open that thing. I'm going to play with it. I'm going to take a couple minutes that I need to get it out of the package and put it on the shelf at least. You know what I mean? To sit and fuck with it. But like troops, you know what I mean? I got stormtroopers and shit that I still haven't opened yet, and
that's your army building stuff you tend to leave packaged until you're ready to use it.
Sure.
But anything new, I say just something you've never touched or seen before. I gotta open it, at least for me.
Yeah. I was gonna say troop building is not gonna have the same feeling if you've already messed with a version of the figure before. So you already know what you're getting there.
Yeah, the payoff there, right, is when you get them. You get the troop built.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been having a hard time like getting excited. But it's just because of like my focus, and it's weird, like just how life could take you like in different directions. Cause, after my trip to VA and, that whole weekend, which is great, but it got me thinking like a lot more about real life things instead of like collecting and what it's going to be like my next piece, you know what I'm saying? So it's like now my goals have changed. So like the collection, not that it's going anywhere, but like I haven't been looking like, okay, I'm like, what's coming out? There's nothing that I'm really like looking for. There's nothing out there that I'm like, oh, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to the SOC Dragon Zord. I think that's going to be dropping in a few months. And but like the RC, got it. Messed with it for 5 minutes. It's been in the box ever since. I haven't had the chance to really like mess with it. Like I had gotten this beautiful diorama from Chris that I picked up on Skullfest weekend, and I've done nothing with it. Like it's just life just pulling me in another direction. So It's rough, man. You got to kind of find the time to like appreciate the stuff. And for me, like since I don't have a lot of space to display, I do find, Dave, like how you said, or like Gary brought up, like if you don't open your stuff right away and it tends to just sit in the package, you do tend to wonder, what am I getting this shit for? Do I need it? You know what I'm saying? Like, did I really need it? And so that's been killing my excitement like lately, just because I feel like over the past, like, let's say 3 weeks, I haven't been giving the collection like the time like that it deserves, and it's kind of dulled like my appetite for the hobby for right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking for that piece to kind of like bring me back. That Generation Toy Gorilla is actually like a piece that I could say like, man, that thing was cool. I flipped it back and forth a bunch of times. I picked it up not expecting to like it as much as I did, and I need more of that to kind of like draw me back in. Not that it has to be like Beast Transformers specifically, but just a figure that's fun to mess with and flip back and forth, and maybe that'll get me sparked into enjoying this a bit more,
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Go ahead, Brian.
I was just going to say, yeah, one of the other things that kind of dampened my spirits lately is I still haven't received my RC yet. My retailer of choice was late to the game, and usually they're one of the first to the games with Fans Toys. So first off, I'm a little worried about them. And second off, dude, there's so much going on about this figure, and I haven't been able to participate, which kind of sucks. So, well, I missed that fucking fun train. Oh, well, fuck it.
Yeah, but then maybe you'll be able, like, after hearing all the hoopla and all the drama, like, and I've seen a lot of people say that they love the figure, and a lot of people say that they've had issues, so maybe now once you get to actually get it and mess with it, you'll be able to form your own opinion and not get caught up in all the fucking hype.
That's what I was going to say. Sometimes that's better when you kind of get to the party on your own terms.
Yeah.
And you really just get a chance to look at it yourself and kind of evaluate, I think, just your enjoyment for the toy and not be swayed so much. So
yeah,
it's interesting. So
yeah, and
I don't know. Go ahead.
No, like just again to touch on your point, because when Brian was talking about, like, he says he got all the stuff out of the totes, but it's kind of laid out, and he wants to mess with that Diaclone stuff that he got like collected, and you've had that stuff for a while. Like, so do you feel like your feelings of excitement like diminish over time because you just like amass so much stuff and you haven't had the chance like to mess with it really? Like, has that dulled?
Yeah, there's that. I have some voices in the back of my head telling me it's like, so you've set up these shelves and, I'm almost at a point where like I don't have any more room to put stuff on them if I get everything out. Mm-hmm. But then again, I come and think of it, it's going to evolve. Maybe I'll pull a Chris or pull a Gary and be like, you know what? I won't sell everything, but I'll pack some stuff up away and change stuff around. That's one of the reasons why I kind of went with this setup. It's going to be easier for me to do that. Mm-hmm. But also just a lot of stuff, dude. There's been a lot of adulting lately for me, and being away from home, and then like finally being home last weekend, being sick. And on top of that, it's like, oh, guess what? I have to do yard work now, right? Because it's fucking been raining like crazy. And these goddamn shrubberies are growing like wildfire. But so there's that. And so, but once I get that kind of stuff like off my plate, I'll be able to kind of focus because I have got some really fun things to do with the toys that I haven't put up yet. And I just need to have that time to get some stuff moved around so I can really start enjoying that right now. So
yeah. Well, that might be part of like the fun and the experience itself, because you just said like you're not happy with your Transformers display, like however you have it set up right now. So like maybe that is just part of the fun, taking that stuff out, putting it up, rearranging. Like it's physically probably taxing and exhausting, but I think once you get to your end goal, you're going to be very happy with it.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to pull a MacGyver job on some of these shelves too, which I haven't quite figured out yet, but the figuring out part is fun. But then taking it all down and dismantling a few of them and rearranging them is going to be a pain, but it'll be worth it in the end. So
Brian, could you ever see yourself transitioning lines if you really realized that you weren't enjoying one anymore?
I think I could.
Or do you think
but I tell you what, man, whenever whenever my interest wanes in something, I mean, there's not much going on here. I mean, I got Marvel stuff there. I got Star Wars behind me. I got Transformers all in front of me, right? And in that Prime collection, that's just an entity on its own. But if I ever start losing interest, dude, something will come across. I'll come across a Transformers video on YouTube, like of old G1. Like, I'm gonna go up and look at that stuff again and fucking enjoy it. And it's like a switch. It happens. If I happen to get bored of the Marvel stuff, which probably can't happen now because they just bombard us with it every other month, it seems. Right. And then Star Wars. I mean, I just I don't have many Blu-rays, but the 6-movie trilogy, double trilogy, whatever. It's the only thing that's like in front of me on my TV right now, and I just flip those discs in and out all the time. So I don't know. So it always kind of rekindles my passion a bit. So yeah. But Gary, to answer your question, like for real, dude, these Mythic Legions, they got a hold of me too, man. When I saw that pre-order and all the ones you could do, I was like, man, I could just dump everything on these shelves right now and surround myself with this stuff and be completely happy.
Yep. Yeah.
It sounds like we're gonna be pushing these or something. Yeah. Like, like maybe we're the 4 Horsemen or something, but and a Dom. But it's the truth. Like, I got a few of them, and I feel the same way. They're just awesome. I pulled them out. I showed people that don't collect. So Friday night, 2 of my coworkers came over. Okay, I pulled out the dwarf and the orc. All I did was pull them out. I showed them how you could swap the heads out. Show them how they work, and they were both like, "These are freaking cool." Like guys that don't play with toys. So, you know what I mean? Like they could tell the difference. One of them has a kid. Another one is basically a kid, 20, 28, 29 years old. Say that they're cool and be fucking with them. I don't know. They got something good going. I mean, we're drinking the potion, right? Mm-hmm. All of us are on that fucking Mythic Legion potion right now. But
I did the same thing. That I took them to work with me, and my client was fucking with them. A couple of the people that I work with were fucking with them. A couple of their clients were fucking with them. And everybody said the same thing. It's like, these things are badass.
Yeah.
Dude, it would be a spectacle if I brought my toys to work. That would be very strange.
Yeah. I couldn't do that either. Yeah. But so I'll just say, so here's a short little story. I remember in 2007 when the King Grayskull was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, right, for the Masters of the Universe in that box, and you could get the bronze one or the regular one. And I remember reading back in the old-fashioned Toys Fair paper magazine about this, new Masters Universe Classics lines, which is designed by the same, design team, the 4 Horsemen. And they did, He-Man and they did Beastman were the first 2 figures through that terrible website that never improved, it felt like, over the course of like freaking 6 years. But that line, which is similar, right? Because it's a lot of reuse and repurpose, just like the 80s lines were, and we're used to that. But I just remember it got me so excited. And I had such a huge collection of the classics. I had like 2 bookcases full. I did the subscriptions for a while, which was fun at first. But then, like I said, the website and the management and Mattel just took all the fun out of that for me. And I think almost out of spite, I sold them off and recycled them to get into the third-party game for Transformers and stuff. Hey, and actually, Gary, Dave, you had the last of my stuff. Go ahead.
Right. Gary, I want to let you know now that the website for the 4 Horsemen also sucks. So
it does. It's
not any beggar.
I know. I think I said that in our chat, that I felt like it was like Matty Collector all over again. Really.
Yep.
But where was I going? I digress. No, it was just, this new line, I think, of seeing something that was a little bit unexpected, I think triggered that excitement. And the fact that it is something different and there's some variety that you can do. You can get creative and kind of customize them a little bit. And but I'm also thriving off of, and Dom's not with us, but everybody knows that Dom is really good at sourcing, current toys and collectibles, and he's got his finger on the pulse at all the retailers. But he's been collecting these for himself, and seeing him excited for some things that wasn't about the business side of things, was just really neat to see again, and see him, because he always says, and it's true, John is a very passionate collector for himself. He doesn't always get the credit for that, in spite of what he does for everybody else in the community. But it's just really neat to see that excitement come out. So.
Yeah. I guess the key is just like you guys were touching on, and Rob Milton in the chat, shout out to him. He said it himself. Like, you just gotta, I guess, mix it up and try new stuff.
Yes, that's Rob's so right. I think he's 100% right.
Yeah, because I guess if you stay focused on one line or one thing, and you're not checking anything else out, then it can be very easy to get bored. You
gotta burn yourself out.
Yeah, like I know, like I'm in my downturn just because I'm just trying to save money and I'm just trying to stay like in one lane. But I remember, like the excitement you guys are like feeling for these Mythic Legion figures. Like I felt that way when I first bought SH Fig Arts, and I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. And Play Arts Kai and all these other lines like I delved into. And now that variety is not there, like I definitely feel that like that excitement subsides. So I'm happy to hear that you guys are like excited, and maybe that I'll just start dipping and dabbing into like different little things here and there just to kind of keep my excitement up, because it's like it is an addiction, you know what I'm saying? Like Energon Addict, it's in his name, you know what I'm saying? Like it always feels like, man, we're always looking for that next thing, and then when you don't have it, it's just like so I'm happy, man.
High.
Yeah, I'm happy for you guys and shit. Like I just gotta find what it's gonna be for me and stuff like that, So that's cool. That's cool. That's good stuff.
Yeah, you could always play with my Mythic Legions if you want.
Maybe that's what I gotta do. Like actually just kind of like mess with them and then be like, oh man, I'm in.
See, like everybody keeps saying Hot Toys this and Sideshow and all that stuff, and at Bobby's, he even said something. He was like, quit buying all these Mythic Legions and all that stuff, and maybe you can put that money towards this stuff. I thought about that a lot, and I love to play with my toys. I want a reason to pick them up and fuck with them. You can't really do that with like the Hot Toys and stuff like that. They're more for looking at. But
yeah,
it's true. That's a good point.
This is what keeps me excited. Picking it up and fucking around with it, posing it, tearing the fucking arms and the legs off of them, mixing them up, and that's what you can do with these things. You can tear them apart, like completely tear them apart.
Cheese fingers and all.
Yep. Absolutely.
I feel you there. I mean, like I said, I've told people before, I was like, I still consider myself a toy collector.
Mm-hmm.
And those 1/6 scale stuff looks amazing, but I don't think I'm ready for that yet, because I still like to mess with stuff and pick it up and screw around with it.
I think that's why I like dibbling, dabbling, and
yes.
it's cool because it'll give you the best of both worlds sometimes. Like I'm in a SH Figuart group. I'm in a Hot Toys group. The other day, somebody in the Hot Toys group goes, "What's with these ugly SH Figuart things that people go crazy over, and why are they so expensive? They're so cheap and stupid, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Then people would post, "Well, they're more for posability. They're more for, you can't do that with Hot Toys. You can oppose the Hot Toys and leave it alone." It's just an ongoing debate.
Right.
Just what JD just said. They're more for looking. I agree with that, but sometimes you want both. You want to be able to look at something, and you don't necessarily want it to stay the same way all the time. So if you buy a statue, you buy a Hot Toys. Hey, you want to make them looking up today. Tomorrow he's looking down. Next day he's looking right. Next day he's looking left. It's just a matter of preference with the Hot Toys. But at least with the Figuart shit or the Black Series, you could fuck with it. You could toss them around, drop them on the floor. Mythic Legion, same thing. So, kind of best of both world kind of thing going on. But when I think about Transformers, I didn't do it as much because I always felt that if I transformed them too much, they would break. So these toys give me like a different feeling than Transformers does. Transformers is not necessarily a Hot Toys where, you're worried about messing with it a lot, but you have the the toy, and you if you want to see it in a different form, you might have a chance of doing something stupid and breaking it, or getting frustrated with it and wanting to mess with it as much. Does it make any sense?
I thought what you guys brought up, very interesting. But hold on, is Dominic? Did Dominic
we
just
got
join
somebody
us?
here.
Dom, are you there?
He's
muted.
Mute.
He's muted. He's still having technical issues. I think what you guys brought up is like interesting, and I'll probably just ask the rest of you, since Dave and JD let us know kind of like how they lean. Like, where do you lean on that spectrum? Like, are you the type of collector that likes to just see your stuff on display, or do you like to be more hands-on? Like, for me, like that is interesting too, because that's kind of like why I still collect Chug when it comes to the Transformers, because the third-party stuff is more expensive. Sometimes the QC is questionable. You don't know whether you're going to get a good egg or a bad egg. Most of the time, it's good. Like nowadays, it's not the early days of third party where it's hit or miss more than not. But that stuff's expensive, and the chance of breakage is always there. So I like to be able to kind of get some of the cheaper stuff, like in that quantity where it's like, hey, you could mess with it, flip it back and forth, and not have to worry about breakage, like the way it seems like those Mythic Legion figures are. Like they're meant to be messed with, I guess you could say. And I guess it's just all about having, like, I guess the budget to do both, like if you can. But if I had to choose one, I would probably lean towards doing what you guys are doing, collecting more of that smaller scale Fig Arts, Marvel Legends, Generations type Transformer stuff, just because there's more playability there than the more expensive stuff. That stuff definitely does look nicer, but I think I do kind of like to mess with my stuff more than not. What about you, Brian?
I'm just gonna say, once I do get this Transformers display the way I want it, I seriously wonder how much I will mess with them. Right now, I do mess with them quite a bit because they're kind of all over the place. But once I got them, like how like Dust has them, JD, how you have them, how Bobby has them, stuff like that. Like once I got them there, will I start putting them all in different poses and stuff? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. So I haven't gotten to that part yet. Speaking towards the higher end stuff, like the 1/6 scale, I do have 2 coming in the fourth quarter, and so once I own 2 of my own, 2 that I'm going to love very much. I'm curious to see if it'll kind of send me toward a different direction. But we'll see. And
I remember us talking about kind of like the collecting resolutions almost 6 months ago, which is kind of crazy to say that. Holy crap. And I remember being guilty of saying, like, I'm not buying Black Series. I'm not going to buy Marvel Legends because I'll take each of those $20 figures and I'll add it up and buy Hot Toys. But I think not having the structure, I guess, and the limit is what's contributed to just sheer excitement again. And I think you guys are all 100% right. And I feel it's boring for listeners to hear us just agree with each other. But, some of the more upscale stuff is great and it's beautiful to look at. Like I have a Hulkbuster from Hot Toys. It's on a stand all by itself next to my TV where I can actually sit and look at it when I'm like watching movies and Netflix and stuff. But I swear, I think I've adjusted him 3 times, minimally, like arm poses, finger poses, very, very minimal. But like the Legends I've got, even those Storm collectibles, I've find myself kind of screwing around with and posing and rearranging. And to your point, Dave, like I'm not a Transformer. I realize that, and I mentioned it. Yeah, I think in Bobby's video, I treat them like action figures, and I finally just transformed my Fans Toys Grimlock into the Dino mode because I was enjoying it in the robot mode with the crown for a while.
Sorry to cut you
off.
I
was nervous.
Me too.
Yeah, I was nervous.
Time. I did it 2 weeks ago.
But when I did it, I had to be, in a calm place. I had to make sure I wasn't, caffeinated to too high of an extent, right? I don't know. I didn't want to even in that kind of simple figure. I didn't want to damage it and stuff. So I was just, I find having the mix, I guess, has been almost enlightening. Maybe that's too strong of a word, but it's been pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I'm speaking from the experience of, like from the Hot Toys perspective, I haven't actually held one of those things in my hand. I haven't owned one of those things yet. And I've seen them on display at Bobby's and at Chris's. Like Chris's display is fucking like beautiful, and when you see that, it makes you want to get into it. Like especially his DC Trinity, because that speaks to me on a whole other level. But like again, and I'm pretty sure that my opinions could change if I did get one or all of those figures like in hand, because just like when I got the chance to mess with the Flames Toys Drift, like shout out to Kuma Style, that was a figure that I was like, it's only 8 inches, it's too much money, like why would I spend that much on something like that? Doesn't even transform, blah blah. And then when you get that thing in hand and you get to mess with it, and it's fucking like incredible, and then you change your tune, you know what I'm saying, like, and that's the great thing. We don't always have to be locked into our decisions or whatever we decide to do. You know what I'm saying? So I could see like the Hot Toy stuff opening my eyes like in that way. But then it's like, man, it's an expensive rabbit hole to jump down, And then at least in my situation, I would have to cut back on, I guess, some of the things like I was just saying earlier that I enjoy more, getting to actually mess around with the figures that I buy, as opposed to, being able to just, I'm going to buy this and just pretty much look at it like on the shelf. So you kind of have to decide with yourself, like, what makes you more happy, I guess, in a way. And, and if you're able to do both, then it's great.
Well, I think we're guilty maybe sometimes of almost fitting into, like, we're breaking the mold, right? That's the whole point of this endeavor, right? This year in 2018. But we, like, it's almost like a cast of characters. And, this person is the one that likes everything, and this person is the one that dislikes everything. And this Gary's the one that focuses on, his fitness, and Brian has like the best one-liners, you know what I mean? And JD's the artist. But we do that with our collecting too. Like this person does Hot Toys, and this person does that, and this person only does Transformers, and in Transformers they only do seasons 1 and 2, and up to the movie. And I think when you just get used to that, and almost it's like an expectation. Maybe, I don't know if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Where we feel like especially when go ahead, Dave.
You gotta finish.
Yes, right. Yeah,
it's like I get what you're saying, but I mean, it's
when
totally
you
up to
release
you. It's
that,
kind of that willpower that you got to have. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
I don't
enjoy what you like,
have
right?
any, so I can't really talk about it. I don't have much willpower at all. Like, I just buy everything. But I get what you're saying, because sometimes I'm like, I talk so much shit. Like I'm out of Transformers. I don't love it anymore, but I still buy almost everything that comes out. I just let it rock. I get bundles of it sent in, as opposed to getting every figure as soon as it comes out,
Yep.
But I still got to buy it. It's not that I'm not buying it. It's just that this other stuff is exciting me more. I guess it's also the lore of it. Like, like the fiction. You can go on YouTube and find fiction for Star Wars that can go on for fucking months. Like, if you kept going.
Fan-made shit or whatever it is,
Go ahead.
Transformers don't really go that far. It's just like, it is what it is. And, once you know enough, and then it starts getting silly, then the toys start looking different to you too.
So Dave, I'd like to expand on what you just said there, and then also Jose, what you're talking about with that Flames Toys Drift. Right. So this Flame Toys Drift is an awesome toy, right? I think that I would be much more interested in it if it wasn't backed by the Transformers line. Like, for instance, first off, it's from a character from a comic, right? That's not, for people our age, whatever. I'm sure, I know we like the comics, but it's not like, how can I put this, right? If it was Sideswipe, I think I would be more interested in it. But if it was just a robot toy, I think that I would be really, really more interested in checking it out, as far as the quality and as far as the more, I guess, upscale collectible that it is. And that's in relations to this Mythic Legion stuff. So we're going to keep talking about this. Good thing Mythic Legions isn't a drinking game. But,
it could
be.
Should be.
I mean, they homage some things, right? But in the end, they're creating their own characters. And with them not having a fiction behind them, I find that I'm really, really interested in them. There is no fandom to poison it. There's no Hollywood studios to change it up and screw it up on you, right? It is what it is, and it is what you make of it. Yeah. And Dave, so I mean, you kind of just touched on that just now, and if there is high end like robots out there. Jose, you mentioned Kuma Style, and he reviews them all, right? And I think that's something I might be interested in checking out someday. I don't know. Like I think I'm starting to fall out of love with the stuff that has fiction already. Is that kind of weird? I don't know.
Nah, man, it's kind of like what you were just saying. It's like your imagination is going rampant. You know what I mean? Like you're just like you're using what you know already. And again, we'll talk about, if anybody doesn't know what mythic legions are, it's essentially like a medieval time / fucking era of the orcs and dragons and all that type of shit. Mythical fucking Dungeon Dragon type of shit.
Yeah, it's like Dungeons and Dragons, Lord of the Rings,
right?
Like that sort of stuff.
You're taking what you know of it and just letting it fly, right? Like that's what I'm doing. Orcs, they're bad. They fucking, you imagine who the character is, no matter what Four Horsemen fucking writes on the name, and you use your imagination. They just look cool. So you're just like, you know what? That's gonna be my gang of orcs. Those gonna be my gang of good people against the fucking orcs, whether they're dwarves or knights or whatever the fuck you want to buy. And you're using your imagination. It's not like that's Optimus Prime and he has to beat Megatron because Megatron has to, he must be stopped.
There's nothing,
no matter
nothing set in stone,
exactly.
No matter the cost. Yeah. One shall stand, one shall fall.
Off the
None
shelf.
of that sort of stuff. Yeah, off the shelf. That's good. I mean, these figures do have a mythos, but it is up for interpretation. It's definitely up for right. We have all these different gladiators in an arena, and that's basically what this is. That's pretty much the basis of their storyline.
Well, I like what Sportimus. I'm sorry, man. I like what Sportimus just brought up because he says Mythic Legions is new and fresh, but it's also familiar because it has that He-Man fantasy vibe that we remember from back in the day,
So, Dave, you brought up a really cool. So that's the thing. So anyone who knows me and has heard me talk or has hung out with me, listen, I have some OCD type tendencies.
Oh yeah,
and in this display room that I have, I did it on purpose with like a style of floating shelves to limit the amount of stuff I would have, right? So I would have to be selective. And I put up a table, and it's kind of like my fun shelves. And I've posted in the ROC group sometimes as I change stuff around, but it's kind of like the toys. I'm looking at it that I kind of can mess around with. But for me to mix and match different lines, like, is really hard. Like it's really something I never thought I would do. And I'm looking at this table and I have like Storm Collectible, Street Fighter, which we all know Superior Jordan. When you listen to this one, avoid the figure arts.
Hey,
but I've got Marvel Legends, comics, some movie verse. I've got the Dewback for Black Series. I don't know. I mean, I've got Black Series, I've got the Mythic Legions, and it just looks fun. You know what I mean? And it's because of what you're saying, Dave. I don't feel like locked in that, okay, this is my team of Stunticons, and this is my team of Constructicons, and this is my season 1. And look, that's cool. I'm not criticizing however people like to display. It's just, I think that there's just it's a fresh perspective to kind of align with what you were saying. So it's my 2 cents, right, for what it's worth.
Hey, Gary, if you're going to be creating shelf cannon, basically, I want to see that Hulkbuster fighting a T-Rex someday.
Oh, I might have to try that. I may have to do that.
With the War Duke riding on the T-Rex.
I'm afraid to say this because I don't know what this says about me, so this is probably a topic for a different podcast, but every one of these figures is very much muscle bound. It has a very large muscular physique, including the female characters. Because I'm looking at, actually no, I've got the movieverse Scarlet Witch from Toys R Us. She's pretty feminine, but Chun-Li is, got
you have a thing against her bust.
You like them fit, bro. You
don't like round things.
I'm just saying, it's just an observation. That's all.
Gary, I'm getting you a Cartman figure for your fucking birthday.
Yeah, good one, Brian. I was thinking of something round.
He's big bone now, so I mean he's in shape.
Right.
Well, dude, like we were saying with the mixing and matching, like that's what's always been cool, like about your collection is that you've always gone like in a different direction and never felt like you had to be a slave to having a shelf of all this or all that. Like you kind of do mix and match in a way, like So it's nice to be able to have that freedom and approach a collection in that way, and not feel like you have to be so stringent and it has to be this way. Like that's cool, and especially if like the things in particular that you're messing with, as long as they kind of like scale together, then fuck it. Let your imagination run wild.
Like, and what's cool too when you mix and match and you just collect different lines. More about not so much about being bored, but more so like it gives you a break sometimes. Like sometimes if you get into a line, you try to go heavy, you try to play catch up, and just buy, and before you know it, you have most of them, right? But there was a line you were collecting before that. So sometimes it's hard to do all that at the same time. So if you have a line that you can pick up one or two here and there, it's easier to do things that way. So like Hot Toys, for example, they're expensive. If somebody's gonna go and buy fucking 10 a month, granted, God bless you, man, you're doing well. Let me know what you're doing so I can get that job. If if you could afford to get one, and in the interim you're collecting your Black Series or your Transformers, you pick up one or two in a month to keep the hobby going. It gives you a break, as opposed to just waiting on one thing, and it could be months before that next thing comes out. So I just thought it'd be, cool to say that's what I do.
Yeah, man.
It keeps me going.
Yeah.
Go ahead, dude. No, go ahead, dude.
I was just gonna say that, like as a tattoo artist, and I've been told this by many, many people, as I was learning, you can't just do one thing. You have to keep yourself interested in it and want to do it every day. You have to have other interests, because there will be times where things do not hold your interest. Like if that's all you did every day, all day, and that's okay, in my case, if that is how I lived my day every single day, and that's anything that I drew was just for tattoo purposes, dude, I would have quit 3 years ago. So
I almost took it as like if you did just black and white and then like jump into doing color, you had to try doing color.
Well, even still, I mean, of course, everyone wants to specialize in something. Of course, like, I'm just a Transformers collector. Well, I just tattoo black and gray stuff. That's all fine and dandy, you know what I mean? But like, just saying, being just a Transformers collector or just being, a tattoo artist, like those two things in correlation with each other, there has to be something to mix it up.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you hear people all the time, "Oh, I'm so bored with this." Like I don't hear the excitement from Dust anymore. Like it kind of makes me sad, and it's kind of like, hey, you gotta throw something else in there to mix it up. So like when you're not excited, you're excited about this. You still get that feeling,
Mm-hmm.
And then when you end up going back to your your roots or whatever, what you originally started with, there will be times where you're equally excited about it as you were when you started.
Yeah.
Well, JD, was there a catalyst for you to come to that like realization, like, or is that something that you've always felt like? Did you get to a point where you were just doing the art for tattooing and not doing it personally, and you felt like you had to switch it up?
Not necessarily. I've always dabbled like throughout the years, but I mean, and I mean this to pertain to like collecting as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't just have one thing. I mean, if you look at all of our collections, there's something, at least one other line that one of us are into, like
something weird.
Yeah, just something is different. Exactly. Yeah. But I've always messed with whatever I could get my hands on, and that's what has determined
that's what she said.
Exactly. I know.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
It's not the first time. But that is what has helped me, like, okay, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, and that's how you find that, you know what I mean? That's how I always felt it. But then when I started tattooing, you know what I mean, people put that to the forefront, like people that were trying to teach me something. They're like, look, this is gonna get boring, you're gonna get tired of doing stuff, you're gonna get tired of talking to people, you need to have something to take that away.
Yeah, you can't jerk off with the right every day.
Exactly.
Try the left.
Yes.
Don't watch the same type of porn. Mix it up.
Try. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. That's the best analogy I could have.
Yeah. No, but JD, you're right. I mean, it's like if you go to the gym, you can't do the same routine for the same muscle group, right? And expect to see any growth. It's not going to happen, right? You can look at it that way too.
He's always got to take it to the gym. Always got to take it to the gym.
I do. I'm the wellness. Look, we still have an ROC wellness program. It's been a very quiet group lately, but it still exists, and we've got to make sure it stays at the forefront. That's all.
As long as you keep putting prizes out there, people participate.
Yeah, exactly.
But mix it up, people. Mix it up.
Is Dom going to join us, or what is he doing?
I don't know. We lost
He's doing it with the left instead of the right.
He's like, that's a good idea. He's like, I'm going to do that now.
All right, Jose's back here.
Man.
Hey, so real quick too. I was watching Robot Chicken the other day, and they happen to have a little skit in there of a stereotypical collector, which is actually not so much of a stereotype with the company that I keep nowadays. But so that's that's an interesting thing. Maybe we ought to send them a link to the show, or to the cool table, anyways. But anyway, this collector, he accumulates the last piece that he needs to complete his collection, and once he puts it on the shelf, what's it say? He's like, and now, to get back to what I was supposed to be doing my whole life, let's say I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to start a family, blah, blah, blah. And then he just bends over his computer. He's like, yeah, I'll get to that someday, kind of thing. I was just kind of wondering, I mean, we kind of talked a lot about, mixing things up and stuff like that. But, I mean, do you guys ever look at a line and like, wow, it's going to be done soon? Or is it? I mean, I wouldn't expect any of us here to ever be done collecting, but are there lines that you think will ultimately complete, and you'll just be maybe tired of upgrading them if upgrades come out? Bad cube size white.
I don't think I'll I don't think I'll ever be done. But why don't we let Dom interject since he's missed the whole show? What's up, dude?
I know, Dom. Jeez, good to see you.
Can you hear me, guys?
Barely.
No,
Barely.
Yeah, sorry.
You go ahead for it. Go for it. Speak up.
What's going on, bro?
What's going on? Sorry. Like, my iPad's not working. I'm trying to get on my wife's laptop.
It's not going to work for people.
Yeah. I don't know. It just says it's crashed, and it's like it requests me to send in like a crash report. This doesn't connect to you guys, so.
And somebody on a certain show last night was talking about the superiority of Apple products.
I know. I'm calling bullshit. But yeah, what are you guys talking about? I'm sorry. I've been trying and I've been listening, but
have you ever used the left instead of the right?
on what? When I'm feeling frisky, Dave, I use.
There you go. Dom got it.
See, he knows what's up.
Right.
He knows what's up.
I'll do the stranger a couple times too. But.
Grabbing it backwards and shit.
Is that what you
Oh boy.
Sure, why not?
So what's the question for Dominic?
What's the toys?
I don't know, man. We've been all over the place.
Yeah,
Brian posed a question about how we feel if we've ever completed an actual line to conclusion for the way that we envisioned it.
Oh well, I'm a completist at heart. So when I complete something, I go in on it to complete it. So
when he completes something, he falls asleep.
He goes in on.
He falls asleep.
I do. No. Once I get everything completed, I'm sure I'm going to be happy. And with regards to Masterpiece, I feel like it's never going to be completed because something else is going to come out that's better.
But wait, you just said when you complete, you're going to be happy. That's a very interesting choice of words, because it seems like you don't enjoy the journey until you get to the conclusion.
No, I'm enjoying the journey. It's just that you're looking to an end state that say, I got everything that I was looking for, and then you put it, you have your complete complexion, and then at the end of the day, it's like, with time going by and companies getting better at what they do, there's always going to be that decision.
So let me ask this question, because this came up on Liquid Therapy on Saturday night, which was a pretty interesting topic. Where the hell was I when they were talking about the prizes for finishing a collection first? Like, everyone seems to be on this mission sometimes of like finishing a line and getting the characters. I'm like, what is that? How do you win that race? I don't
know. They stopped emailing you about that when you dumped your Motu figures. They're like,
oh, that's good. Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
I don't know. Nice. Is there a prize? Is there ultimate?
I don't know. Right?
It's like jerking off in a circle. Whoever fucking goes first wins. All right, big deal.
I don't treat it.
So what is it? Pretty much.
I don't treat
bragging rights.
I don't treat it as a race. So.
Yeah. And it shouldn't be viewed as that anyway, because the journey is enjoyable as well as to getting to that end destination. Like, to me, I don't think I'll ever be done because, as we say, they're always going to be making new toys. They're always going to be making a better version. Let's say, like we're seeing it now with the, Bad Cube putting out their version of Sideswipe and, Red Alert. And there's a whole debate of whether they look better than the MP versions that we've had for a while, so I don't know, we could get all these figures again with better engineering and, all these different accessories, and it depends on the individual whether you guess you're done. Jisk jumped into the chat and he says he's looking forward to being done, so, like I said, I don't see it as being an end goal. Like, I like to collect action figures, you know what I'm saying? So I don't see that going away, whether it's Transformers or anything else. Like, there's always going to be something new coming out. So I don't see myself stopping. Even if there is a lull, you might have a lull, maybe you'll get out for a little bit, but I don't think I'll ever be done completely.
I'll never be done.
Yeah, like if we were going to be done, we would have been done as kids, no? Like, once we became adults.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Goonies never say die.
And I'm not in the chat, so I apologize, I guess. But like, Jisk, if you're there, like, what is collecting taking you away from that you are going to be able to do when your collection's finished? I guess that's my question, because I guess I can't understand. Like, so you're done with it, right? And then what happens next? It's like. And I've heard people say, well, I can spend the money on other things. Well, then just start spending the money on other things. You know what I mean? Why wait till why do you?
Why wait till you're done with it?
Hey, because no one likes a quitter. That's why.
Yo, he's looking for a way out, bro. He's like, I want my Mondays back. I got all the Transformers I need. I'm out.
I had to give up Monday Night Football for this hobby. Damn it.
Well,
it's hilarious.
I think there's two types of collectors. If there's a collector looking to collect and knows what he wants to collect, and like for Jisk, like, he knows what he wants to collect. He knows his end. This is what he's wanted to do, and he wants just to finish it. So if that's your type of field, then that's basically what you're aiming for. But like, for me, I don't I'm a completist at the fact that I want to complete the whole line, and then I'll find another line to complete. So there's always collecting for me. Just that I feel like there's always going to be another line that I'm going to go into, and I'm going to want to complete it. I would like to get all the stuff that's out there.
So Dom, let me ask you this question, right?
Yeah.
Do you keep building floors upon floors of your home, or or building a warehouse in the back of it? Where's all the stuff going to go?
That's a good question. Like,
when's enough? You know what I mean? Like
I don't know. I don't know when that question is, and when I'm going to answer that one.
You want to know what the answer is to that?
When I get my display room up.
When both of us do, because we both talking shit. But when we do that, so we have to go do that.
Yeah, and like I said, I think it's like it's based on your capability. It's based on what you can get and what you can afford. And with regards to space, that's a house. How much can you afford on your space? Can you get a place that is big enough that can obtain that appetite that you have for regarding how much you want to collect? And that's the question. Like sometimes we have restriction, and space is definitely one of them.
Is that why you lost so much weight, to make more room for toys?
Exactly, Dave. Exactly. My big ass is taking too much room.
I'm just Dom, it's evident. You look good, bro.
Yeah, dude.
I see it. Good job.
Yeah, right? Dude. Good fucking job. Good fucking job.
I'm trying.
Now you can fit two more Black Series under your butt.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, BZ in the chat. Well, he said it. He said it very well. He said there's no one way to collect. So you just do what makes you happy, and and it's okay to have an end game in sight, because it says just because you do doesn't mean you're not enjoying the process. So it's up to the individual collector and what their goals are.
I mean, like you could have an end game but still be into the hobby. You could just. Enjoy it a different way. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily have to buy everything. You could still see it, talk about it, or whatever.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think like people just have more like lulls. Like if they ever like fell out of it, they would find something like maybe down the line that would just kind of bring that memory back. That feeling of one day maybe we're collecting, and I don't think anybody would ever really be done. Like if we're all doing this now, like so far into our adulthood, like I just can't see us being done. There's no way we're just gonna say stop, unless we're dead broke or something and we can't buy it.
True. I think it comes back to the balance piece too. Real life happens, family life happens, things you can't control happens, and you maintain the balance as best you can between your responsibilities and the things that you enjoy. And like you were saying, Jose, sometimes you sacrifice for the short term for the long term goal.
Yeah,
right?
if your kid don't eat today, she'll eat tomorrow. Is that right?
if I have to
get that pre-order in, all right?
If my home goes into foreclosure, then I can go rent a room at Brian Brink's house, right? And then I can I can take care of his yard for him, so he doesn't have to worry about it. This
sounds awesome.
Oh man,
well, that's cool. I appreciate the discussion. Yeah, no, like I said, I just I didn't want to make it another kind of like happy non-contrasting perspective conversation, but it was. I thought it was worth talking about, just the stuff that really gets us excited still, and we have fun with it, and to see your guys' perspectives and see what people in the chat kind of were thinking. So,
no, for sure,
the dialogue.
Yeah, it was good, man. It's good, and then it's funny because like this is the type of topic that you could almost ask like every week, and the answer might vary like from week to week. Like almost just depending on what's going on at that particular time, so like revisit it 6 months from now, and we might all have different answers. So
ask me during Christmas when I'm broke if I fucking care about toys. I'm like, fuck toys, I don't need to collect shit unless you want to buy me something because it's Christmas.
Yeah, so good stuff, man. Good stuff. Thanks for bringing it up, man. I appreciated the discussion.
Gary, we'll have to find a topic to get the adversity that you're looking for.
Well, I don't say I'm looking for it, but I think it might make things a bit more interesting for people listening and for our discussion. But that's okay. We've got plenty of time to do that.
You're looking for, Gary?
I'm just looking to see you, Dom, and you didn't show up until 10 minutes ago.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we could probably start shouting out the chat squad. Brian Brink, if we've been keeping track.
All right. Chat squad was strong tonight. Let's see here. We got Rob M in here. Rob M decided to buy a bigger house because he wanted to collect more lines.
Exactly.
There you go. You see.
We got Chat Winging him in here. Rogue War 71. Danny V. Nine of Ren. BZ Fresh. The True Star Screamer was in here. EE Prime 20. Parts Former. Brian B. T-Man 978.
Brian B. That's not you?
No, it's not me. Different thing. Noble Young was in here. Jim H. I think is new. Welcome, sir. Riverbots. Adrian A. from Australia. Hey. We had Retro Now was in here. Paul S. Dapper Tryon. Lucas B. We had Honey Childs.
Honey Child. What's up, Brammer?
Bramalama Ding Dong.
Jariah Sama 7. We had TF fan page, or excuse me, T-fan, TF. Blah, blah, blah. I think it was TF fan page 101 was in here contributing. I think I've seen him in here before. Welcome back. Jason Y, Sportimus, Walter was in here. The Intangible Cog, Sunday Heat, Jisk One, Cromdor, and Dust Mites, and Mervine 48. He says, "Damn it, I missed the show. Got out of work late."
Oh man, it's all right. You can catch up anytime you want, man. Awesome. Thanks for supporting, man. That's awesome, man. Chat squad strong tonight. Love it. Thank you, guys. And we could run it down the line and get some where you at. So, Energon Addict.
What's up? Energon Addict on Instagram. Dave Cologne in the Facebook groups. Here on Tuesdays. Have a good week.
All right. How you feeling? You feeling a little better?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Am I feeling better? No, I'm still as high as I was when I first got on.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Are you recovering? You feeling?
Hey, look, I didn't want to throw it out there, but since you did, yeah.
My bad. All right, Brian. Go ahead, bro.
Brian Brink in the Facebook groups. Brinkalizer on Instagram. I think I have a new picture coming soon. It rained today, so it didn't work out. But next time the sun's out, I can get out there. It'll be fun. And yeah, that's it.
ACBA style, bro. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, I'm not good with the special effects yet.
All right. The guy that showed up 15 minutes ago, Big Dom. Where you at, bro?
I'm at Dominic Rosso in the groups, and I'm going to be at your local Apple store complaining about this fucking shit.
That's right.
Dom, can you record your argument with the person? Because I think it'll be a riot.
I think it would be hilarious.
I should record my fucking
because you dealing with people with customer service.
I was supposed to be on my podcast with my toy friend.
I knew you would take it there, Dave. I knew you were going to take it there.
That's what I would do. I don't know. I'm just saying what I would do.
Like, what the fuck? I got Google Hangout. Well,
that's so funny.
I'm sure they're not going to know what the fuck to do. So.
Oh, man. All right. JD, what's
next?
You can find me creeping.
Ooh.
Somewhere. Now you can find me here Tuesdays. JD Brocious in the Facebook groups. Pigment Surgery on Instagram, Xbox Live. Again, here with you fellas Tuesdays, and hopefully a new figure bang in here soon. I see Aces.
He's making progress. Yeah.
He's making some progress.
Yeah. We're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Soon enough. All right, G Money.
Let's see. I am G Money 1010 on Instagram. I'm gonna try and do more with that again. I say it every other week, and I do it once, and then I feel victorious, and I don't touch it. You'll find me at a few different gyms over the next few weeks, just enjoying the time off. And I'm here on Tuesdays.
Gyms? Is that so you don't get bored?
It is at 100%, actually. Yes. It's like anything else, right? You can't just shop at Target. You got to go to... Yes, exactly right.
You fucking gym whore.
Listen, I wish. Listen, all these superhero movies, every single time I walk out of one of them, I'm like re-energized. And my wife tells me, Gary, do you realize that they get paid and they have trainers and people that cook and that's their sole job? And I was like, yes, I do realize that. And how can I get that job for someone to pay me for just send me like 8 months and see what I can do.
You're on the wrong podcast.
And I'm here on Tuesdays.
Yeah,
I know.
Man.
What'd you say?
A stunt man. Try being a stunt man. You do that.
Yeah, but they don't get the I don't know. I'm too old.
They don't get the recognition.
I'm here on it sounds about I'm here on Tuesdays, hanging out with you guys. And I don't know. I think I got some time off, Brian. I'm going to give you some competition. I'm going to try and weasel my way into as many podcasts over the next 10 days as I can see fit. and just kind of pop up.
Be careful, Gary. It's a dangerous
goals. I'm sure, right? Baby, goals. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. And shout out to Extra Zero. He couldn't be with us here tonight. He had a work emergency, but you could find him on Twitter at The Original Zero, I believe, on Instagram at Extra Zero, and on Facebook as James Jordan. Yep. As for myself, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Xbox Live, and the PlayStation Network, all at Harrican BX. And here with these fine gentlemen every single Tuesday night. Guys, I do not have my notes in front of me, so I'm going to try to just do this from the cuff, all right? Remember to check out the website, realmofcollectors.com. Can I get a realm? Can I get a realm?
Realm?
All right, check out the website. Tons of stuff there to check out. We have merchandise available, so please support. And, of course, we always appreciate any support from the community. Check us out on Facebook. We're there as a group, Realm of Collectors. We're on Instagram at Realm of Collectors. Realm. Shout out to some friends of the show at Figure Photography Crate on Instagram. That's our boy Tim K. We got third party TF Crashers, kumastyle.com, Retro Now on YouTube, TKO, and the Blackout and Shout crew. This show, Breaking the Mold, is part of the Cool Table Network, so please pull up a chair. It's a hub for like-minded podcasts, including Enter the Realm, Plastic Fanatics, Shattercast Uncut, Toy Detox, Nerd Rage Radio, Figure Banging, Stasis Lock, 8 Weeks, Building Up to It, Fresh Communication, and I think that's all of them. I don't have a list in front of me. So check out all those other cool podcasts on iTunes and Google Play. If you send any What's in the Fucking Box and Shelf Life videos to entertherealmcast@gmail.com. And that's going to be the show for tonight, guys. Thank you for everybody watching and listening. We are the ROC. We're not going anywhere, so get to know us. We'll see you next week. Peace out. Later, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a great week.